Good afternoon, Chris.
Good afternoon.
It seems that many might have been surprised by your win over United, and perhaps Brighton weren't given the credit they deserved. How do you feel about that performance and that win?
I think probably some of what you said is right. I think when you're playing against the top six, you are generally the underdogs, and probably we didn't get the credit I think that we deserve, but I think that's normal. I think with how we are now, and expectations and how big the big teams are, and the coverage that goes with the big teams, I think it's perhaps normal, and sometimes it's not a bad thing to just go under the radar a little bit. But it was a very good performance, and a performance that certainly deserved the win.
What has it done for the players' confidence, their mentality going into another big game against Liverpool?
Well, I hope it's done a lot, because an away game at Liverpool, they almost don't come any tougher than that, and we'll certainly need to show a lot of the qualities that we showed in last week's performance. I think what it has also done is it allows us to go to Liverpool with 3 points. I think it's perhaps quite daunting if you've lost your first two games, and your next game is Liverpool. So I think it hopefully allow us to go there with a little bit more confidence, a little bit less pressure. There isn't anybody that would expect us or see us winning in that game, and I think we've got to approach the game in a manner that will allow us to get something.
How much are you going into the game thinking about your away form and the fact that an away win's been quite a long time coming? Are you focused on that in particular and fixing that stat?
I think as regards fixing it and improving it, that's the challenge that we set ourselves, going into this season. But you never go into a game thinking about them things. Our approach going into every game and every away game would be exactly the same. How can we best get a performance? Against the top six, it's generally going to be a different type of game. They're going to have the bulk of possession, and that'll be no different at Anfield on Saturday. But there isn't one game that we go in thinking that we can't get a result. That's the challenge for us. The challenge is to improve our away form. Our home form is what kept us in the division last season, and it was very good. But we need to improve away from home, and as I said, they don't come any tougher than Anfield.
Your defender Balogun has played under Jurgen Klopp's teams, against Jurgen Klopp's teams in the Bundesliga. He says he expects it to be much faster, more intense than the game against United. What are you expecting? Do you think he's right?
Yes, I do. I think the way that they play, that's their game. They're a team that play at a very high tempo. They've got a lot of pace in the team, and of course in probably you could call them a front six, a three in midfield with very, very good movement. And of course, I don't have to tell anybody about the ability they have in a front three. So yes, the tempo of the game I expect to be very fast. That's what they've proved already this season. That's what they showed last season, and they've made good additions to the squad. So I expect nothing different than that.
You've already highlighted how big the top teams have become in terms of taking in foreign talent, spending millions of pounds. You haven't gone that route. You've almost shown your, faith in English players that have played in the lower leagues, and you've put your faith with them. Glenn Murray has come out and said he's glad that you've done that. He's happy with the club policy of doing that. Is that something that you've set out to do on purpose? Is that your policy? And do you expect other teams to kind of follow suit in that way, putting more investment in young English talent?
Well, no, but what we have done, I think we have invested, and we have invested in foreign talent as well. And as regards any competition you have, it's always going to be about making sure that whatever team is on the pitch is doing well enough to show that sort of faith in. If I look at what we brought in and how we recruited in the summer, it's taken some of them just that little bit longer. Some we brought in a touch later than others. some are on World Cup duty. We've got a couple that are injured at the moment that are pushing and pushing hard. And you know, whether it's somebody from our own ranks or somebody that's been here for a period of time that's in the side or somebody else, it's about doing well enough to stay in there. And certainly if I look at the team and the players that we have had for the last few years here, you know, they've worked hard enough, they've developed well enough to warrant still having that inclusion in either the team or the squad. So I think we've got a good balance here, but ultimately it's about the ones that are on the pitch making sure they do well enough to keep a place.
And we've just heard recently that Steve Sidwell has retired. What will the team miss about him and his contribution, and what will he bring to his new role as a youth coach?
Yeah, well, I won't miss seeing him because he's coming back, and it's the right time for him to retire, and he of course made that decision. We will miss him, the quality of a player, the experience that he has, but we'll also miss him in the change room. He was a big influence, somebody that has played at a very, very good level, and one of the players before last season that had, you know, Premier League experience. But we are delighted that he's coming back, and he will be working in our academy groups, as will Liam Rossini. And what we have done is we've got two very, very good individuals and two potentially, I think, very good coaches that have come back to help our development.
And just finally, could you just update us on any injuries within the squad?
Lewis hasn't trained this week. I think the good news is that it's not a bad one. He went over in his ankle, so we don't expect him to be out for any sort of real period of time. He hasn't trained this week. He's a tough individual. We haven't ruled him out completely, but you know, at this moment it would be doubtful. But we're delighted that it's not as bad as perhaps what it could have been.
And any other injury concerns?
No concerns, only the ones that haven't been involved. Andoni hasn't been involved, Squerdo hasn't been involved, and of course Bruno, who missed the last game. So they will all still miss Saturday.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Chris, how pleased have you been with Balogun, and particularly his performance against United, because he obviously would likely want to come in if Dunk misses the match? And how important is the partnership with Duffy in hitting the ground running with it?
Well, it's always a big position and a big relationship. Your central defenders, and I say particularly when you are going to Anfield and you know you're very much going to be tested. But he came in. He's made a very good impression from day one. I think what helps is that he's an experienced player. He's played at a good level. He's played in a few positions at the back. So I think somebody like him coming into the game against Manchester United wouldn't have been fazed by it at all, and generally has taken it in his stride. So a very good addition for us, and you know that's the reason why we brought him in. Do you,
as a manager, hope to have a headache when Dunk gets fit, when you have to choose?
Yes. I want as much competition as possible, and the more decisions that I have to make, it means people are pushing, and you always want to have to make them decisions.
On facing Liverpool, do you have to put more into dealing with pace and power that they've got, giving yourself that extra half yard, things like that?
Yes, I mean it goes without saying that we're up against a Liverpool team that were very, very good last season. Got to a Champions League final, and you know, circumstances had been different. You know, might have even won it, and that have recruited in the summer and recruited well. So we're looking at, for me, an improved squad. We will have to defend well, you know, and that's for any team. I think going to Anfield at this moment, with the quality and the pace that they've got, you know, you will have to defend well. And that will be, I think, the basis of what we will have to do, and have good periods of the game ourselves. You know, what we have to be is a threat. If you are defending for 90 minutes, then there's only one outcome. So we have to make sure that we are a threat ourselves and have good enough periods in this game.
Is it difficult to identify weaknesses in a team like Liverpool? Do you have to sort of put them under a microscope, so to speak?
Well, Yeah, I think as per normal, you know the quality of the players, you know what they've added. They are a top team at the moment, and they are a team. You know, everybody, of course, is speaking about Manchester City, how well they start, of course, after winning the Premier League last season. But these were a top team last season, and they have improved. So yes, you have to take that into mind when you're playing against them, and as I say, probably we need to make sure that we are a threat. As regards weaknesses, they're a very strong side. You know, we obviously know where their goals come from and where they can come from, but you know, as from a 1 to 11, they are a top team.
Chris, Emmett's loan deal to Queen's Park Rangers has been confirmed. What's your reaction to that, and just the thoughts behind it?
Thoughts behind it's been difficult at this moment. We brought in, of course, Florian Andoni in the summer. Lacadia's pushing, of course, to play. Glenn has played in the first 2 games. It was difficult for Toma last year. He's somebody that had been used to playing more games. It was difficult for him last season because he didn't get the amount of time that he would have liked to. So I think it just gives him an opportunity to play games, and of course play regular, and probably from where we are with the 3 that we have at the moment, we felt that we could let him go.
And just with regards to some of the others, maybe Richie Chow, Scalotto, maybe, is there sort of still plans for them potentially to go?
Yes, I think what we will do is we will give ourselves this time through to the end of the month, and I think always on anybody going, it's about, you know, what can be realistic for them. If it's a good place for them to go, are they going to play the regular games that perhaps they need to play? So all of them decisions will sort of take place over this period of time.